Hey, mother lovers, this is Toni and Molly. We are testing out new ways of starting the podcast, so we're just gonna dive right into it.
Madrid based.
Madrid based, and today
Yes.
we are gonna talk about a random topic that we found on Reddit.
Well, the subreddit is from the expats, I don't know, subreddit. And the title is USA or Norway. The question is, where would you live? We are a family of 4. We have a car and a house. So there's no mortgage, no car payments, etc. The choices are between Alabama, the state of Alabama in the US, with a salary of $58,000, or in Bergen, Norway, for 63,000 euros for a family of 4.
In Bergen. I know nothing about
Bergen.
Alabama. Alabama, I need to Google it.
It's in the south. I used to go there for vacation, like summer vacations. From what I've gathered, it's a very it's a very conservative state. I think a little bit scary. They have a reputation of being like, I don't know, I don't want to offend people from Alabama, but they have like an incestual reputation.
Okay.
And everything is kind of outdated or antiquated, very racist, not a very progressive place.
Is it a very hillbilly vibe in some of the areas there? I can just, for some reason, play in the back of my head people saying Alabama, putting that twang on, like mimicking like a Texas hillbilly or something. Alabama.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't spent much time, but that's what people say about it.
And this is a family, you have a choice to live either in Alabama or in Bergen, Norway. Like, this is not an apple to apples comparison
No.
at all. Because let's look at the map here. Okay, so they are on the south coast. I don't know where in Alabama they would be living, but let's assume they had the option of living at the coast. They could be close to water somehow, the Gulf shores there. And in Bergen, which is a city on the west coast of Norway, they obviously will be very close to water. Bergen is a small city. It's not a state.
We've talked about it before here, right?
It's the most rainy city in Europe. That
Yeah.
is what Bergen is. There will be probably a little bit of snow there wintertime, but I think a lot of it would just rain away. It's a very gray city. I never lived there, but I visited several times. Half of the times I've had nice weather, actually. It's a really beautiful city when it's not raining.
Okay. Would you live there?
Depends what my options were. Now I guess it's between Alabama and Bergen. Based on your description, I think I would live in Bergen. It's a small city, sounds way more progressive than at least the outskirts of Alabama. It's well connected via air travel to different places. I even saw some routes that was set up to New York from Bergen last time I was there. I was like, wow, from Bergen to New York. Who knew? There's some people with money there going back and forward. Other than that, like how many people live in Bergen? I'm gonna say a couple of 100,000. No, more, I think. Bergen, there's 300,000. What is there to do there? You can walk in the rain. You can walk when it's not raining. There's a culture for being at the docks, at the fish market, at different restaurants there. But like a lot of small places in Norway, what you can do there, it's based on what you create yourself. A short description of a typical life in Norway is that you focus a lot of your energy on creating a life at your home, whether it be an apartment or a house. You will, to your best ability, create a place where you could invite people to. It's going to be bad weather. It's going to be cold. It's going to be dark a lot of the year. So what do? Well, people come to your place. Either that or you take up hobbies, which is to walk in the rain. But let's elaborate on that. That can mean mountain hiking. That can mean skiing if it's snow for that. It can be other things. And then other than that, it's universal hobbies like dancing. I know there's dancing communities in Bergen. They're probably not that big if you compare it to bigger cities in the US or here on the coast in Spain, where 50% seems like they're dancing some kind of Latin dance. Like,
Yeah.
there are things to do there. There are groups. A lot of people, they go working out there. You can go to the movies. Like, there are stuff to do.
We also don't know where this writer is from, like if they're American or if they're European or, whatever. All these things that you're saying, do you think it would be easy for a foreigner to come in and establish themselves if they're not overly outgoing or
In Norway, it's hard to integrate if you're not
if you don't speak the
outgoing,
language?
if you don't speak the language, if you don't have a
Yeah.
contact to like get into society.
Mm.
That could be an acquaintance who's from there, but you studied abroad together, or you're married to a partner who's from there. Again, hobbies, groups where they do things, those are great ways of like getting into society, quote unquote.
Well, this comment says the downsides of Norway, very hard to make friends. Your coworkers are not your friends and they will never be your friend. Don't even try to befriend them. So if you don't need friends, you can survive in Norway. Otherwise, go to the US. And then a lot of people talk about the language and this, the lack of sunlight. Yeah, I don't know if those people were just damn it. Maybe they learned from experience. It sounds like they're a little bit bitter.
And to be fair, some people, they have bad luck. Other people, they have a harder time because they're less outgoing themselves. They're less, their social antenna isn't very good, or their expectations are too high. Like, what are your expectations of a friendship? Is it to have someone to call to tell them about your deepest secrets, or is it someone to banter with while you have a cup of coffee or a beer? What I have learned from relocating several times, both in Norway and outside of Norway, is that you have different friendships for different things, and you always
Agreed.
need to have really low expectations. Go with that, and you will have a life. Set your expectations thereafter. This person who commented like your coworkers will not be your friends. We have no idea what kind of workplace that is. We have no idea
Right.
what age, if there were people with kids or not. Like, there's so many factors at play here. But I will
Yeah.
say that I have heard that story before from people going to Norway. So yes, I totally get it.
Well, and I think we can also say that in Spain, it's similar. I think it's probably anywhere you go. Like, if you don't make an effort to communicate or be friendly, you're not going to have a good time, basically. You have to put yourself out there and you have to be uncomfortable, maybe like have expectations be destroyed at times. That's just a part of moving to a place you don't know.
It is. And what will your role in a group be? That is important to remember. And to be a quote unquote passive member of a group, it's a lot different than okay, dating, not romantically, but like meeting up with a new friend. You're the foreigner, they're a native, it's just you two. That puts a lot of pressure on the other person. But let's say there's a group of people, either coworkers or you work out, like there's some common theme that brings you together. If your expectation is low, it's just a chit chat. It's just to like show your face and present your name. In my opinion, that's a great start. That's like a great low barrier where you're not scaring anyone off with your shitty language skills and your lack of understanding of local culture. It's just, hey, here's this random joker who has some witty comments that we don't quite understand, but he or she is smiling and they bring an okay vibe. So we're gonna allow them to be here. Like that's a good start. And I'm talking from experience here.
But it's hard to do that one on one. Like, I don't blame people for not wanting to, like, for us as people that don't speak Spanish natively, to
Mhm.
invite us out when maybe they don't speak English or their English isn't enough to be able to have a conversation.
That's what it means. So, like, what are you going to do together? If there is someone who speaks English and they want to invite you, by all means, like, just let it crash and burn when you come too far into the evening. And who says you need to stay all night? Who says you can't just stay 1 hour? Like, there's loads of things you can do where you don't need to have super deep, intricate conversations. Okay, if you meet up for a dinner together, yes, during the dinner, it's going to be hard, it's going to be awkward, but just as with depression, you just need to accept the pain, sit with it, and let it pass. You can work a bit on it, like passively, that's fine, but like some emotions, that uncomfortable ness where you feel that everyone's staring at you, just effing embrace it and sit with that emotion, because once it passes and once you're done eating, you will head to a bar. You can have chupitos, you can have shots there, you can go on the dance floor together, and suddenly it doesn't matter that you don't speak the same language because your hips is doing all the talking. Again, talking from the
From
experience.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think that's easier said than done. I will say that in these last few weeks, my socialization skills have improved. I've noticed like I have leveled up my Spanish. It's because I went to a wedding. I've been to several weddings now in Spain, and I remember my first one and
Mhm.
I didn't understand anybody, or I couldn't even hold a conversation. And now contributing a little bit more, I'm just like deathly shy. That's my problem. That's
Mhm.
makes it really hard to integrate. But I'm there, I'm like putting in the time, and you do literally have to sit there and be silent until one day you have enough like vocabulary and courage to just insert yourself into the conversation.
To just throw yourself into it. Yes, 100%. And like, there's no life hack here. There's no shortcuts. There's no way of avoiding these problems or these emotions. Like, some will have more of it, someone have less, but we all go through it. No one gets to skip this part when you're a foreigner.
But it's easier if you're more outgoing, like if you don't have this shame around your accent or your lack of vocabulary in whatever language you're trying to speak. Whereas for me, I'm just like I'm silent because I'd rather not say it and not sound stupid than just like start talking about something crazy and then not know where to go with the story because I don't know how to end the story, or I don't know how to continue the conversation.
Some people are more outgoing. I will say this, I am more outgoing maybe than the average, but I have forced myself to be like, if you had any idea how many times I've been deathly scared of different situations, but you're there and it's like, either I can do this or not. And a lot of times I didn't. But then they act as a point of reference. Like, I didn't do it. Do I regret it? Yeah. Do I think I will lose anything by not doing it? No. Okay, I didn't quite have that experience today, but there was a emotion there. So I was at Mercadona, of course, and there was a dude there. I walked past him, and he, for some reason, like, his face caught my eye, and I could not pinpoint where have I met this dude before. And both of us were like, we kind of looked at each other like this, not in a friendly way, like suspicious almost.
Mm.
So I just walked past him and then realized I think that's my first Spanish teacher from 5 years ago, and I have not met him since before COVID.
Wow.
So I turned around again and asked him, like, hey, sorry, what's your name? And then he got even more suspicious. He's like, Juan? Like, why do you want to know my name? And I'm like, hey, I
But
think
there's so
you.
many Juans in this in this
Yeah.
country.
And I will say this also. Another thing, when I turn around and walk back to him, I noticed that he has the most insane biceps plural. And like he's a fit dude, but he's very normcore, and like the way he has his hair and everything just seems like very average button up dude, but his biceps. He could kill 20 reggaeton dudes with like.
Was that a new thing, or is that how you recognized him?
No.
By
That's
his
how I
biceps?
recognize him. I really remember him as a university professor with like these insane biceps.
Did you compliment them?
I never did. I should have, but I never did. But yeah, I said like, "Hey, I think you were my first Spanish teacher before COVID," and he was very honest and said like, "Your face kind of seemed familiar." Like I thought
Was he a
about it. Like,
teacher?
yeah, he was my
Was it the
professor.
guy? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it
Okay.
was him.
Interesting. Wow.
Obviously, I said, "No worries. You have I don't know how many 100 students every year, and this is 5 years ago." But yeah, I remember you, so I just wanted to say hi. And you know what was so cool? The last time I saw him, the only words I knew were "Hola, ¿qué tal?" And now we
Look at you
actually
having a conversation.
at Mercadona, and I'm like, I think I'm integrated now.
But
Somewhat.
did you like tell him that? Were you able to express to him like, look how far I've come, or at least in some kind of way?
I didn't say that, but he said like, "Hey, you speak Spanish well," and even though it's kind of like a typical comment, you kind of like brush it off. It's like, well, at least I get it right. I really took it to heart, and he did stop me and said, "No, really, like you speak well. Like I'm impressed." I'm like, okay, now I really do take it to heart.
I don't like that compliment.
You don't like it? Well, I took it to heart because I know it's like a
Personally, when someone says like, "Oh, your Spanish is good," I'm like, "Mm-hmm." I don't know. I'm always doubting that.
it's always the context. Like I'm not stupid. Sometimes I can clearly tell like no, they're just trying to build me up. But other times it's like no, there is something to this. With this in mind, circling back to either your English isn't well and you're going to Alabama, or you don't speak Norwegian, you're going to Bergen. There's no way of fast forwarding through this process. Whatever country you're going to go to, whatever, if you prefer to be in Bergen or Norway, if we are going to focus on the aspect of one, learning a new language, two, integrating and creating a life, you need to go through this. It's universal. Like you cannot skip this process. And same as with motivation versus discipline, whether hyped up or not, you're going to have some like emotional downers and crashers. And the most important thing you can do is just keep going. And it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
You know what I think would be interesting is to know how many people, like a statistic of how many people move to Norway and then end up going back to their country. Or like for Spain, with Spain. I guess maybe that's not even a statistic, but
Either we edit this out or you keep covering the dead air while I write a prompt for ChatGPT to ask that quickly.
you want me to, are you going to cut this, or you want me to keep talking?
Well, let's see in the edit if it works or not. This one is so yeah, do your best. Let's see if we keep it or not.
Well, if you're not listening, why am I talking?
We have listeners in plural. You can try
That's
talking to
true.
them.
Well, a lot of people are saying Norway in this thread, is what I'm seeing. It depends. Do you care about your safety, or do you prefer to fit in and just be another part of the crowd? We also, it would help if we knew where this person was from, but if you're immigrating to a country, it's hard. Maybe with a family less so. But no, I think it's hard either way. And
You don't like the awkward silence?
no, I don't know what else to say.
So, I found some data. It says in 2021, immigration from Norway was about 34,000 people. 8,000 of them were Norwegian citizens. That's overall immigration flow from Norway that just leaves Norway in general. Retention, staying rates among immigrants, that's what we're looking for here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's see. By the end of 2020, 71%, almost 650,000 of the non-Nordic immigrants who had immigrated since 1990 still lived in Norway. A span of 30 years from 1990 to 2020, 71% of people coming to Norway was still there.
Well, okay, but the 90s is way different than 2020.
Yeah, but like how are you going to measure this? Is it people who came 2019, 2018, 2010? Like the world is always changing more. So like
That's true.
you kind of have to think about what do you want to know? Is it through this the last 200 years of people coming to Norway?
Yeah.
Is it the last 10 years? It seems in general for many immigrant groups perhaps somewhere between 60 to 80% stay long term, with the remainder either leaving or dying over that period.
Or dying.
Yes,
Uh,
either leaving or dying. So it seems like a lot of people are staying.
I guess there's not like a huge movement for people to immigrate there, but the people that did seem happy. So,
We can go on the last comment to like kind of summarize this topic of going to Norway, like upsides, downsides, and then US upside downsides. And I'm
okay.
reading bullet points here on Reddit.
Okay.
So reading a comment here on Reddit, upsides and downsides of Norway, upsides and downsides of the US. Let's start with Norway. Downsides. Norway is for people who can deal with unusual day-night cycle, like bright night at 11 p.m. and pitch black at 9 a.m. Well, that obviously depends. Are you in the north? Are you in the south? Is it wintertime? Is it summertime? Etc. But yes, it does matter. General comment for me, you will feel a lack of sun. Doesn't matter if you live in the north, doesn't matter if you live in the south. More, it will be more severe in the north, but you will always feel this lack of sun. That's why so many people travel to south of Europe for holidays, for longer stays, if they have that flexibility. We want sun. There's not enough light.
But for the people that don't ever leave the country, like how do you know what you're missing unless you go somewhere else?
We have TV, Mal. Like we can see what's going on in the other parts of the world.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I guess it's like the England raining kind of situation. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, perfect comparison. Another thing, hard to make friends can be for some people.
That's any country. That's
That's
anytime
any
you move to
country.
yeah.
And I would also like to mention what we talked about in one of the early episodes, coconut versus peach.
Peach.
Do you want a superficial friendship that's easy to pick up but doesn't give you long-term value when you really need it? Or do you want a solid friendship that you really needed to work hard for, but once you have that friend, they got your back the rest of your life? Like that, the latter, that's what you get in Norway.
The peach.
The coconut.
Ah, the coconut. Okay.
Yeah, they're hard to crack, but once you're inside,
Yeah.
happy days. But okay, let's jump to some positive sides. Free quality healthcare, free education for your kids, work-life balance, plenty of days off, safer roads, much safer roads, it says, plus walkable cities. Depends on where, but in general, yes, infrastructure compared to other places I've been, al dente in Norway. Job security plus social safety net. In general, the government, they got your back.
Okay, but this free word again, like it's nothing is free. You pay for the healthcare.
You pay for taxes, yes, like you need to contribute, but it feels like a really nice reward. Take an example. Let's say you have worked as a engineer within like the oil industry for 10 years, and all of a sudden technology comes along, replaces your job. You are 6 months without a job. What do? A very high percentage of your average salary for the last 5 years, the government, they will just give it to you.
For how long?
I don't know the rules and in and outs, and there are certain obligations tied to it. Like you need to be in a job application process. You need to talk with a consultant. It's not without hurdles, but it's there.
Spain has it too.
You know any percentage wise?
How much they pay you? It's not a percentage, it's a national amount. So I guess it depends on, there's different tiers for, I'm not exactly sure, but it's the same whether you live in Madrid or Sevilla or Alicante. Like
Mm.
if you meet the criteria, you get the same amount no matter where you live.
I don't know tiers and percentage wise in Norway because I've never been in that situation myself. I've been really close, and then just before I entered it, I got a different job. So
In the US, if you don't work, you don't get paid. Nobody cares. You're just on the street, literally.
rough out there.
That's one downside to the US.
Speaking of the US, we can just dive right into the downsides that this person on Reddit is bullet pointing so nicely for us. Work to death culture. Working 50 to 60 hours a week is considered the norm there. Expensive healthcare, but as long as you're employed and insured, the service quality is very high. Car-centric urban planning, so walkability is not universal. Some cities are, some are not. Job security is also a concern here. It's a rat race in which you will be dropped if you don't perform well or get sick. Do you want to comment?
Yeah, the job security thing I was just talking about with my boyfriend. In Europe, I feel like you're protected if you want to go on strike, but in the US, there is no protection. So if you go on strike or if you get pregnant or, there's certain things that like maybe the company will come up with a different reason to fire you, but those are the kind of things that they will see and they will not like it and they will fire you or whatever for a different reason, like a by the book reason. And I think that's just something that Europeans, they have the luxury of not understanding or not having to have that fear of like, oh, I can't go on strike, I can't get pregnant, I can't underperform because I will just get fired for that and then they'll cover it up with some reason. So I think that's interesting. A big difference between the two. And it's true, like that's you can get fired for anything. I've seen it happen.
High risk, high reward.
Yeah, I guess so. And the maternity leave doesn't Norway have the longest maternity leave?
One of the longer ones for the ladies. Well, you can choose. Does the mom or the dad take out the long maternity leave? It's depending on how you structure payouts. I think it's between 10 to 12 months paid maternity leave.
That's crazy. I cannot even comprehend that.
Parent would probably step in and say, well, you need to remember that paper is a hassle and yeah, but still it's world class. Let's jump into upsides of the US. This person comments, people are generally warm and friendly. Among all the foreigners I met, US people are often the best. Often people from redneck states such as Arkansas are very much civilized and more polite than those loud and pretentious French nutheads. Of course, the US is a big nation. You will also meet plenty of assholes if you live there long enough.
True. Yes, I think American culture is very much like almost fake. Like they'll be nice to your face, but at least you go through your day and you feel like people are caring about you. So in Spain, it's not like that. In Spain, you get this feeling of like everyone hates you. You're just annoying everybody.
I do get what you mean. I have nice interactions, but I have some of...
You've had to work for them, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
But put on a nice smile and a nice shirt, combed hair. I can pick up some pretty privilege also here. 3 more points here. Food culture in the US is also better. If you need a friend...
No, okay. Let's stop on that one.
Yeah, let's stop on that one. Let me say it again. The food culture in the US is also better.
I agree. Well, actually, no, I can't agree if I've never been to Norway, but...
Oh, yeah, that's true. We're comparing US to Norway here, of course. food culture, it's obviously a lot more elaborate in US than what it is in Norway. Just size, like there's over 300 million Americans, and then there's less than 6 million Norwegians. We're not going to invent something that gets copied all over the US. Whenever there's a new food trend that goes in all the big metropolitan cities in the world, it usually starts in US. At least that's my impression. Take Korean barbecue. I assume it has its like invention from Korea, but I promise you that some kind of hipster place either in LA or New York that started, and then it just spread like wildfire, because all like big food sceneries in the world, they copy from each other because they need to, what's the latest trend, what's the latest craze, let's go to whatever food fair and see what's going on there. Why did they copy the smash burger all of a sudden? I bet they went to some fair and said, hey, this is cool, half of this is branding, shit, let's do it. And then what do you know, smash burgers everywhere. And I promise you that started in the US.
Right. Actually, I went to a smash burger place with some friends a few months ago, and I was like, they were like, so, oh, I love this burger. And I was just like, this is just a burger to me. Like, smash burger, like, it's a trend here. It's like something that has caught on and gotten popular. But for me, it's just a burger.
So hyped up. And honestly, after having had a few smash burgers, they're overrated. I was sick of the patties being too thick, so when it came with the smash burger, it was very refreshing. But in general, they have a tendency to just focus on the grease and not too much on the taste. And a
Hmm.
lot of smash burgers that I've had, they look better than what they taste. They're pretty bland.
They can get away with it, because it's just like a little crispy piece of meat.
Yeah, but add salt at least or something. Like, okay, now I want to go back and try the smash burger from the very first place that I tried the smash burger. It's here in Alicante, and maybe we should do that today.
Okay.
Actually, a local chain of 4 or 5. Last thing on the food, what's the thing that you missed the most from the US, food wise? Or maybe not miss per se, but it's like your favorite thing from the US.
I don't know. I think that you can get everything here. You just have to really search for it.
Mm.
There's like those dirty, dirty, like underground Chinese places. They exist in Madrid here. Like you
Mm.
can get really good Asian food if you know where to look. I guess like there's more of like a healthy food culture in the US. So there's a lot of chains of like salad places, and I mean it's not. Don't give me that look. It's just like you think you're like being tricked into thinking that you're eating healthier.
Yeah, just ignore the 2 gallons of ranch.
Right. But here, like there is honest greens. That place I like here. But in the US there's just multiple places similar to that with like salad choices and just different healthy options, where here like people want patatas bravas, they want jamon, they want the typical things that doesn't do well otherwise. But do you guys have a lot of ethnic food, like foreign food in Norway?
So here's the thing, there's two things so popular in Norway. It really caught on in the 90s, I would say. One, kebabs. It came slightly later. It was mostly in the capital, and then they kind of like spread out because making kebabs at home, come on. Like you
Mm.
need a kebab place for that. But what spread like wildfire in everyone's homes on Fridays specifically, Tex-Mex tacos.
Tex-Mex tacos. So a Tex-Mex place, a restaurant.
No, you do it at home. You never go out to eat it. And I'm saying Tex-Mex specifically because everyone says tacos, and it's like Taco Friday. That's the thing in Norway. So we don't have the Taco Tuesday rhyme. Just Taco Fredag, we say. But it's not tacos, it's Tex-Mex. Like, let's not confuse the two. So think Taco Bell here.
Wait, I don't know the difference between tacos and Tex-Mex tacos.
Oh, come on. So you have Taco Bell, which is like the corn tortilla envelope, the fast food version of taco.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have taco al pastor, or something that you get from either like a food wagon or a guy on the corner. You should eat it off the ground, so it's like more dirty. I'm kidding, obviously, but like eat it in dirty environments. It's something about the smell and like the general atmosphere, and it's like insanely hot. And the combination of, you have the cilantro and maybe there's a piña, and you have like the red hot sauce, and like,
Which one is Tex-Mex? Taco Bell?
yeah, like minced
Ah,
meat.
okay.
Then you have like the cheese, and if you're very Norwegian, because we need to put dairy on everything, we have sour cream to like balance
Yeah.
out the hot taco sauce.
So white people tacos.
Yeah, white people taco, the one that you get from Aldi. That's the one that's super popular.
Huh, that's interesting.
They keep iterating on it. I saw a TikTok yesterday of someone from the US actually visiting a friend in Norway, and they had Tex-Mex or tacos at home, and they had like a tortilla, and they were putting different things on it. As I mentioned, minced meat is one. Yeah, we put cucumber on and different salads, and then
Mm-hmm.
they had diced apples. And I'm like, go jump off a balcony. Like, you cannot have diced apples. Now you're just trying to be special, and it's not working. You're just being stupid.
Mexican people are not happy. That's a very strange ingredient. So there's no restaurants like Chinese places or Thai
Oh, I
restaurants.
forgot about the Chinese Asian places. Yeah, no, they started before all of this. Like in the 80s, there was like a
Okay.
wave of like Chinese restaurants that came.
Yeah. I feel like it's pretty universal having Chinese.
My impression is that there are like waves of, now we're gonna eat more foreign food, and then there's waves of, no, let's eat like old traditional. In
Mm,
Norwegian, you would say husmannskost, which is food made by the average working family.
typical food.
But dude, I remember, like, I think I was 19 years old and had to move to a city before I had my first avocado. It was not a typical thing.
Avocado toast. And those people that run the Chinese places, are they Chinese?
Yes. Or if they're Chinese or Japanese or Korean, I can't
They're
answer.
Asian. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think I would assume official branding is more like generic Asian. Maybe it's Chinese, and then we're like, do you look Chinese? Yeah, okay, it's good. Come on, let's eat here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the what you have to look for.
So we have some foreign food in Norway, and especially the last 10 years, it's a reflection on financial status of the country. So people
Mhm.
have more money, hence they could experiment with different kinds of recipes and food and import things. Stores see that, they see an opportunity. Hey, maybe we can create a need here. It's like, no, you need
Mhm.
to try this special sauce or this special ingredients. We will help you be special. So when you meet up for your food party, you can brag about having this weird ass oriental sauce salad that no one really cares about. But
Yeah.
hey, we have to try something new. So we have different things in Norway as well, but I assume it's better in the US.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, we got real sidetracked, but I want to mention the two last things here. One, we're still talking about like upsides of the US
The
compared to
US.
Norway.
Yeah.
So the two last points here. Second last is, if you need a friend and social connection to live, US is the obvious choice. And the last point, the main language in US is English.
Mm, I, yes. But the main language is English, but there is so much Spanish. I was arguing with my boyfriend the other day about this. When I call customer service, you have to press a button to hear it in English. You have to press a button to hear it in English, and then another button if you want to hear it in Spanish. And that doesn't exist here in Spain. Nobody's asking me if I want to hear it in English. But yes, I think everyone knows that the main language in the US is English.
I saw a video, someone recording a vlog maybe in New York, And either they were testing out or randomly they just noticed how far they could get with only speaking Spanish. You could get by just speaking Spanish, not English.
In New York, yeah, I'm sure. In any big cities, the people are just a little bit more, well, yeah, I don't know the video, but
So I can go practice my Spanish in US.
if you go to the big cities, yeah,
Oh, I really want to go to New York. Ugh.
you should go.
One day.
It's expensive though. And then going back to the friend and social connection, I have never been in Norway, so I don't know. But I will say that I feel like my friendships are a little bit more superficial than the friendships that I see here in Spain, I guess
Mm.
what I could say. And maybe you can say the same, but I just feel like, yeah, I guess comparing Norway and the US, maybe they're similar in that way, but I would not say that friendship and social connection is great there in the US. It's very much like you have your immediate family, and once you have that family, you don't really like everything is about your family and you don't really make friends. And then in the future, if you get a divorce or something, even when your kids get older and they don't like you or that you have nothing, you have nobody because you spent all your time and energy with your immediate family. And people in Spain prioritize friendships in general, I think, and that helps them because life happens. Like, people get divorced, friend or children get estranged from their parents, and then you need that social connection that in the US I have seen a lot that it's really miserable. It's really a bad way to go about life.
I have seen the same in Norway. I have friends, some of them late 30s, some of them older. One is early 60s. And they, as you said, prioritized immediate family. Then there's a divorce or life happens, and suddenly you don't have that immediate family anymore or partner, and you don't have any friends. You're just there alone. And it's such a
Mhm.
big hurdle to create that again from the ground up.
It's and at that age or at that point in your life it feels almost impossible. So yeah, I guess we must be similar in that way, but definitely does not happen that way in Spain in general.
Mm.
I feel like friendships are very prioritized. They're very deeply rooted, and I just feel like Spanish people have so many friends.
The average one will have it at least.
I see my boyfriend. My boyfriend has a million friends. I admire that about him, but for me, I just cannot relate.
I have really embraced having a lot of friendships that I've tried to maintain here in Spain. But this fall, with starting to study while I'm working full time, I just needed to dial back on, like, not cutting any friendships, but being vocal, saying I will have less time for you, and just learning to say no more. I had to turn down two friends today who asked me about doing something this weekend, and like it breaks my heart. I just don't have the time.
Let's circle back to the question, USA or Norway?
The feeling I'm left with after this conversation, the US, based on solely on the talking points.
I would say US initially and then Norway once life gets real. Everyone always says the ideal is like when you're young US and then move to Europe to get old and retire and all that.
So I should go quickly to the US then.
Yes, you're running out of
I am.
time.
I can see it here. My thing here.
No, I not like
How
that. I
many
mean,
years? So that's the conclusion then. We like both countries, it seems. We see some ups, some downs. But for some reason, both of us are here in Spain.
correct. What a mic drop.
Yeah, I guess we can just round off the episode.
Thank you for listening. If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, please comment, write to us. We are here
we are so disappointed in the lack of comments. Like, I do not get what you guys are doing. Like, you're just passively listening to us. We're trying to have a conversation. This could be such a much better podcast if you just took the time to write something to us. Do something. I'm frustrated of doing like these monologues.
It's because we're not talking about Bad Bunny or Taylor Swift.
Next time, Bad Bunny and Taylor Swift. At least Bad Bunny. And a little bit of.
Or Selena Gomez.
No, I can summarize her. She is boring.
Clip that. It's going to go viral. Don't you hate on Selena?
I am not hating on her. I'm just saying she can just do her own thing.
Yeah, I guess the lack of comments, it makes me wonder, do you guys hate it? Do you love it? Are you listening?
Are you there?
Maybe they don't make it to the end.
Yeah, they don't make it to the end. You know, wait, next time we'll start the next episode by saying comment.
That's what all the professionals do.
They do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't we? Okay, now we will.
Next time. Thanks for listening. Follow us, comment, like, share it with friends. Spanish Pod.
YouTube, Instagram, Spotify.
That's it. Adios.
Adios.